Hello, everyone, and welcome Knicks Avenue. I'm so grateful you're here. If you're enjoying this content and would like to see more videos like this, please support the channel by
offense
subscribing.
a little bit more. And guys, we have a lot to go over on the Knicks right now, as this team just got a whole lot better and just robbed the NBA, and I'm going to explain exactly why that happened. Guys, we're not going to waste your time. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are not subscribed and you're part of that 61% that's not, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single Knicks update. But let's jump into this. There is a lot to go over. As we know, the Knicks were being very, very diligent in the buyout market, but it did not take them long to find their guy. There had been a ton of talk surrounding trying to bring Jeremy Sochan into this Knicks team via trade for Gershon Yabusele. The Knicks talked to the Spurs. It didn't work out. They moved on. They got Jose Alvarado, but they still wanted that forward or big man to add on to the team. Someone who could defend, rebound, and play a multitude of different positions. Sochan was one of their favorite options because he's young, has a lot of potential, and was falling out of favor with the Spurs. And the Knicks, it was always a question if they were going to be able to sign him, but then it became clear that free agent forward Jeremy Sochan plans to sign with the New York Knicks after he clears waivers. His agent, Dariunas Viskauskis of Gersh Sports, tells ESPN. Sochan had 10 interested suitors after being released from the Spurs on Thursday and landed on the Knicks as his new team. Sochan had the pick of the litter and chose New York. Now, on top of that, it was also mentioned that the 22-year-old will sign a rest-of-season deal and gives the Knicks a young athletic wing with versatility and size. He averaged 10.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 25.3 minutes across 212 games for the Spurs and was a two-time Rising Stars participant as a rookie and a sophomore. I cannot tell you how much I did not think this was going to happen. I did not expect the Knicks to sign Jeremy Sochan. I figured Sochan would not get bought out because overall he still felt good enough to be traded. However, the Spurs just bought out a 22-year-old forward who is on the margins, as Leon Rose always said he wanted to build on, and also in the advanced metrics, which the Knicks love with the biggest analytics department in basketball, is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. That is how good this man is. People are underrating the hell out of Jeremy Sochan right now. This is one of basketball's most versatile defenders. Yeah, look, let's bring up the stats. Oh no, but his averages aren't crazy. He wasn't getting minutes. The Spurs were screwing this up. Mitch Johnson screwed this up. Sochan was getting 13 minutes a game in the 28 games he appeared in, putting up 4 points, 2.6 rebounds, 1 assist, and shooting 47.5% from the field. Yeah, he's not a good three-point shooter. Get over it. And some people aren't. The Knicks are full of three-point shooters. I mean, the other forward who's on the backup with Sochan is Mama Diawara, who's shooting over 40% from three. He's shooting 44.4%. So I'm not that worried, especially because their backup point guard just hit 8 threes in a game. So I'm not freaking out about it. However, Jeremy Sochan is one of the most underrated players in the NBA for a few reasons. Shout out to David Chabot on Twitter, who has an awesome page. And he said, on offense, Sochan ranks in the 84th percentile in potential assists. He's also great on the offensive glass and averages 1.8 offensive rebounds per game, which is in the 88th percentile. The efficiency sits around 56.8 true shooting, which is pretty average. But in regards to shot diet, he's completely cut out the mid-range at this point in his career and lives at the rim, being in the 79th percentile of rim frequency, which is good to see. Now, Sochan, he does have to get the efficiency up at scoring the ball. That's one thing that is a fact about Jeremy Sochan. He does not score the ball at an efficient clip right now. He hits the corner three decently, specifically one of the corners shooting 37.5%. Above the break, 12.5% is abysmal. In the paint, not under the rim, in the paint though, 62.5%, which is very, 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 very good. Overall, the percentile is good for shooting there, and that is something you want to see. A guy in the 95th percentile of paint field goal percentage. Under the rim, he's got to get better. Corner threes are decent enough, and the Knicks love that spray corner three. So that's something that I am excited to see about Jeremy Sochan as well. And Chabot also continued on his breakdown of Sochan right now. Here's what he had to say. His defensive versatility score is a ridiculous 94.3, which is in the 97th percentile of the NBA. And his matchup profile is almost even across 2 through 5. He generates 4 deflections per game, 71st percentile. He's not a vertical rim protector, minus 2. 30.5 rim defense, though, but the Knicks have Mitchell Robinson. I'm not too concerned about that. But here's the thing. Sochan adds so much to the Knicks. I mean, Shabbat said his creation load is low at a 45th percentile, and he's shown that he finishes well in the non-restricted paint, too. 54.5 versus league average 44.4, and while spacing has always been the concern, he's hitting 50% from the left corner and 40% from the right corner this year in a very limited sample size. Now, overall, Sochan has been a good player. He's been efficient, just not at scoring the ball, so people get nervous because of that. But overall, the efficiency numbers, look at this, almost all in the green. This is an efficient basketball player who impacts winning at a high level. If there's something we know about Leon Rose and the Knicks, they are not afraid to spend money on winning. That is the thing. When the Knicks traded for Mikal Bridges, it was not about the points, the stats Mikal put up. It's the impact on winning that Mikal had. That's why they made that deal. It's why they made the OG deal. The moves are not always the flashiest, but it's will this win us more games? If the answer is yes, the Knicks will spend on it. That has been a consistent theme in Leon Rose's entire tenure as the Knicks president of basketball operations. They saw Sochan as a guy who will impact winning positively. Sochan, can't wait to see it, guys. How do you feel about this move? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys.
He generates 4 deflections per game, which is in the 71st percentile, showing his activity level and hands. He's not a rim protector with a -2.5 in that category, but the Knicks have Mitchell Robinson for that. Sochan's job is to switch everything, disrupt passing lanes, and make life miserable for opposing wings and forwards. His creation load sits at the 45th percentile, meaning he's not asked to create his own shot constantly, which is perfect for a role player. He finishes well in the non-restricted paint at 54.5% compared to the league average of 44.4%. The spacing concerns are overblown because he's hitting 50% from the left corner and 40% from the right corner this year, even in limited attempts. The efficiency metrics across the board are almost all green. This is a winning player who impacts the game beyond the box score. Leon Rose and the Knicks front office aren't afraid to invest in winning basketball. When they traded for Mikal Bridges, it wasn't about his scoring numbers, it was about how he impacts winning. Same thing with the OG trade. The moves aren't always flashy, but they answer one question. Will this help us win more games? If the answer is yes, the Knicks spend on it. That's been the consistent theme throughout Leon Rose's entire tenure. They saw Sochan as someone who impacts winning positively, and they grabbed him. For Sochan, this is the perfect situation. He gets to join what I believe is the best team in the Eastern Conference, play meaningful playoff minutes, and boost his value before hitting unrestricted free agency. This is a win-win for everyone involved. As a Knicks fan who wants this team to win more than almost anything, I can tell you Sochan gets us closer to a championship because he does all the little things that show up in the win column. Ian Begley broke down the roster mechanics, and here's the beautiful part. The Knicks don't have to make a corresponding move to add Sochan. They have an open roster spot thanks to salary shedding at the trade deadline and enough money to sign him to a veteran minimum deal. The Knicks and Spurs discussed a Sochan for Yabusele deal before the deadline, but it didn't gain traction because of that second year on Yabusele's contract. The Knicks wouldn't have been able to sign Sochan now if they hadn't shed salary at the deadline. Here's where it gets insane. The Knicks essentially traded gas on Yabusele and 2 mediocre second-round picks for Jose Alvarado and Jeremy Sochan. Let that sink in. Leon Rose is an absolute genius. Yabusele had negative value because of that second-year player option. The Knicks convinced him to decline it to join Chicago, then used Dallin Terry's contract and 2 second-rounders to get Alvarado, who just hit 8 threes in a game. Then they used the leftover cap space to sign a 22-year-old analytics darling in Sochan. That's masterclass-level front office work. Begley continued saying the Knicks targeted Sochan all along with one version being a straight Sochan for Yabusele swap. So they essentially landed both Alvarado and 22-year-old Sochan at the deadline. Sochan gives them depth up front, and the organization is high on his defensive versatility and ball handling according to sources. With Sochan on the roster, they feel comfortable with all 15 players seeing the court, which was a major issue last year. Everyone talked about how Tom Thibodeau ran an 8-man rotation partly because they weren't comfortable with the full 15-man roster.